Victor Wembanyama is the best prospect in the history of the NBA draft. No, you know Rudy Gobert. Of course, he's a generational talent. Lee is really struggling when he comes in every day. I'm not going to stay in the league. He's really thin. And then it makes me think of Greg Oden saying, Bowie, he's going to play against grown men. He's going to play against grown men. He's going to have to keep those guys on the other side also, Chad. Holmgren didn't even plan on playing this year because he's hurt. There's no other way. Also, Chad Holmgren hasn't even planned to play this year because he's injured. There's a concern that because he's killing people in the Zeke Republic, he's going to come here and dominate, but I don't know if that's the case. Victor Wembanyama is said to have grown from 6 feet to 6 feet and his wingspan from 6 feet to 6 feet. What is it about? We have already seen what Victor Wembanyama is capable of, which is like levels of basketball we have never seen before. Wembanyama has never set foot on an NBA basketball court, but we've already seen what he could do. A glimpse of what basketball could look like one day if a guy like Victor Wembanyama had all the pieces together. The size, the skills, the basketball IQ, the athleticism, the drive, the need to show off his abilities, and the competitiveness to take on anyone in his path. When it comes to the perfect basketball prospect, it's possible that Victor Wembanyama is literally that guy. But Charles Barkley says it. Everyone wants this kid. They seem to think he's great, but you can't really know until he's on the court. It's possible that Victor Wembanyama is having a similar first season to Anthony Davis, where he needs a little bit of strength to adjust to life in the league, while others don't. He needs a little bit of strength to get ready for the NBA. I would say that the evidence here suggests that this is not likely because Mike Guy is here, and today we are talking about the recent news that Victor Wembanyama is now standing at 7'5" in the shoes I want to make this. Distinction in the shoes. But it has been reported that he was 7'3" in the shoes before. This is what we are told. He has grown 2 inches, and he has also added 3 inches to his wingspan, something that may seem unbelievable. But the thing is, Victor Wembanyama has grown 2 inches, and he has added 3 inches to his wingspan. The NBA should be on alert with this news about Victor Wembanyama, because not only have we seen this before, but we have seen it with some of the NBA's brightest stars. Paul George entered the NBA at 6'8". It was then said that as an NBA player, he grew 3 inches. Anthony Davis also grew at least an inch during his career. And a few years ago, teammate Dylan Brooks said that Jaren Jackson Jr. grew 2 inches, but perhaps the most famous example is Kevin Durant, who entered the NBA at 6'8" and continued to grow until he was almost 5'7". The fact that Victor Wembanyama continues to grow is not only believable, but you have to wonder if this man, this teenager, is going to grow another 2 inches while he's playing in the league if he reaches 6'4" and is mobile. That's what we think, but we can't predict the future. Victor has struggled going 3 for 13 in a loss to his former team, but all you'll see from that game are the highlights of his life. At the end of the day, what really happens in France is that Victor plays against professional players. And because he is considered a generational prospect, we will, of course, compare Victor Wembanyama to Luka Doncic. It is very clear that as a EuroLeague player, at least 2 years away from the NBA, Luka has done a little better. Back to the video. Victor averages 6.4 points per game and 3.9 rebounds, while Luka averages 7.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 4.5 rebounds per game. 5 rebounds per game. What matters most and what made Luka the generational prospect that he was, despite not being selected as the number 1 pick, is the improvement we saw between the ages of 18 and 19. In his final season of international basketball, Lucas's numbers increased tremendously, and he became the youngest EuroLeague MVP of all time. Meanwhile, Wemby didn't play in the EuroLeague this season, so we don't have a direct stat comparison to draw on. Indeed, last season in the French National Premier League, he averaged only 8.3 points per game and 4.5 rebounds per night. Quite remarkable numbers for a teenager. But for a generational prospect playing in France, I think we're all in agreement to expect a little more. And that's exactly what we saw this season. Victor Wembanyama averaged 21.5 points and 9.4 rebounds per game in the French Premier League. In France, which means that in just one season, we have seen Wimpy go from a pretty solid player in his league in France to the best player in the entire league. He leads in points per game, rebounds per game, rebounds per game, rebounds per game, blocks per game. And on top of that, he recently played for the French national team here. How he performed up top for the throwdown at Wembanyama, nice catch by Elder, blocked by Wembanyama. When Birmingham a ball screen, picks and pops on the three-point line, shoots for 3 count, he feeds it. He scored 22 of his team's 72 points and also had 17 rebounds, 6 blocks and 4 steals against the Czech Republic. It's absolutely insane, and I think it's really remarkable that the more we see about Victor Wembanyama, the more we feel like this man is becoming a living myth. One of Victor's former teammates was quoted as saying, "I saw him make 5 right-handed baskets in a row, switch to left-handed, and make 5 baskets. That's the craziest I've ever seen in the history of athletics." That's the kind of story we hear from Victor Wembanyama in France, and that's what we're about to experience when he finally makes it to the NBA. I, for one, can't wait because I truly believe he's going to be one of the best rookies we've ever seen. In fact, I truly believe that, especially if he comes in at 7'5". We have a French mobile three-point shooter that wasn't created in a lab. Yao Ming, that's really wild. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you are not new to the channel, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video.